Putin slams Kyiv, Ukraine over and over again with drone attacks. Putin also approves a newer, more deadly cluster bomb. Trump spends time at the border feeding Border Patrol and the U.S. military with Governor Abbott of Texas. And Netanyahu and Biden have a major disagreement on the next steps forward with the Israel war. Thank you so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out, so thank you so much. Also, check out the interview from earlier today with General Michael Flynn. He shared some incredible insight that you won't want to miss. I'd also like to thank today's video sponsor, Morgan & Morgan, for sponsoring this video. Former President Donald Trump took a surprise trip to Texas yesterday, where he and Governor Greg Abbott served Thanksgiving meals to police officers and Border Patrol agents. Shortly after, Trump gave a short speech where he thanked the men and women at the border for their incredible service. When it came time for Abbott to speak, he took the chance to endorse Donald J. Trump for president, stating, "Joe Biden has failed at national security. We need a president that will secure the border." Now, the crazy part about the border crisis is that New York is starting to feel its effects nearly 2,000 miles away. In fact, it's gotten so bad in New York City, Mayor Eric Adams is now begging wealthy New Yorkers to step up and donate more money. During an event at the Harvard Club, Adams pleaded with a room full of wealthy individuals to support organizations and donate money to cure the poverty in New York City. So New York is dropping police funding, dropping school funding, dropping repairing infrastructure in order to house illegal immigrants. He's now asking some of the highest taxed people in America to pitch in and do more, donate money to the city. Unbelievable. While the governor of Texas was praising Trump, the governor of Florida has just called him old and run down. During an interview on CNN, DeSantis stated, "He's wedded to the teleprompter. He's not willing to debate. He's running on many of the same things he promised to do in 2016 and didn't deliver." Now, I get it. DeSantis is trying to make Trump look old like Biden. However, it's not going to work. Because even if he was able to achieve that, do you think by calling Trump bad and old, you're going to pick up enough Democrat voters to make up for the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of MAGA voters that will never give you a single vote? I don't know. It just seems like a bad campaign. I'm not a MAGA person, but if you were trying to win my vote, bad-mouthing me is certainly not going to get it. Now, while we're on the topic of sketchy news networks, NBC has just admitted in their recent poll, which showed Biden at his lowest approval rating ever. Host Steve Kornacki stated, "What's happening in the Middle East really does seem to be connecting with what's happening domestically in politics. Let's start with the bottom line here. Biden's approval rating is now at 40%. With 57% disapproving of him. Now, I can tell you the war does play into effect, but people opening their wallet and giving out tax money, higher money to mortgages and rent and car payments and insurance and food and gas, that's what's really making people mad at Joseph Robinette Biden. However, he's going to try to pivot away from being a wartime president. But he allowed Afghanistan to fall. He pressured Zelensky into allowing hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians to die at the hands of Putin. And now he's giving Benjamin Netanyahu carte blanche when it comes to Israel attacking Palestine. He wanted to be a wartime president. That's how he's going to be remembered. But he's losing every single war to date. This is a Morgan & Morgan legal alert from today's sponsor. Evidence shows that Google has allegedly violated the privacy of millions of Americans via incognito mode. Your personal information and data may have been unfairly collected and used for profit. As America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan has recovered over $20 billion in compensation for clients, and they may be able to help you fight for justice. If you've used incognito mode in Google's Chrome internet browser, you can find out if you have a claim in only a few clicks by visiting forthepeople.com/Stephen Google. It only takes a few minutes to sign up and find out if you have a claim. Former President Donald Trump just walked away with another win in Colorado, as it was ruled by the judge that he absolutely deserves to be on the presidential election ballot. Sarah Wallace, the judge, agreed personally that Trump incited violence on January 6th, but ruled that under the 14th Amendment, he doesn't qualify for disqualification. So he will be on the ballot in Colorado. Members of the U.S. military that were dishonorably discharged for not wanting the brand new COVID-19 vaccine are now being told that they can come back. However, only 40 have re-enlisted, while 8,000 have said, no thanks. So the military lost 8,000 incredible, well-trained men and women that love their country over a miracle shot that didn't stop the transmission of COVID, didn't stop you from getting COVID, and only gave 30 to 60 days of actual coverage. What a bunch of idiots. Thanks, Pfizer and Moderna, for literally weakening the country. Now, even though President Biden has previously claimed that the United States can financially and militarily support Israel and Ukraine at the same time, President Zelensky is saying otherwise. He said regarding shipments of artillery shells, they have really slowed down. It's just that everyone is fighting for stockpiles themselves. Furthermore, he claimed the United States warehouses are empty. So he's just now exposed the United States for not having enough military equipment to defend herself. We really are putting ourselves in a terrible situation. Now, bullets may not be enough, so Zelensky should maybe stop complaining. For the second night in a row, Vladimir Putin has ordered massive drone attacks on the capital of Kyiv, Ukraine. Most of the attacks in the past few months have been in rural areas, but now the capital is being attacked over and over and over again in Kyiv, Ukraine, with military drones. So while Ukraine is running out of bullets and bodies, Putin and the Russian Federation army are only getting stronger every single day, and they're now taking the fight to Ukraine's capital. On top of this, Vladimir Putin has just approved the use of modern cluster bombs. He said the United States introduced deadly cluster bombs into the war, so we will introduce our own more modern and more deadly cluster bombs. They're called the RBK 500 cluster bomb. Now, they are also calling them glide bombs, so I guess they're going to be cluster bombing the capital of Ukraine soon. The Washington Post has just revealed massive details regarding hostage release deals with Hamas. What's currently going on is it appears that Hamas has agreed to release 50 females and children, civilians, over the next 5 days if Israel agrees to pause the war. This likely means that no men or women that are soldiers will be released anytime soon. Unfortunately, this pause will also allow Hamas more time to regroup and prepare for Israel's next attack. While these talks unfolded, President Biden is already speaking about separating Israel from Gaza immediately. He stated, as we strive for peace, Gaza and the West Bank should be reunited under a single governance structure, ultimately under a revitalized Palestinian Authority, as we all work towards a two-state solution. While Biden offered his opinion, he failed to detail how he'd keep Hamas at bay during this two-party structure. In response, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu wholeheartedly disagreed with President Biden and stated he will do no such thing and that Israel will remain in control of what the Israeli Defense Forces do. Now, the Israeli Defense Forces just released new video evidence documenting weapons and tunnels inside the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza. This footage unequivocally proves that Hamas was in fact running operations from underneath the hospital, as reported by the United States and the IDF. This means that they were using sick people and pregnant women and newborn babies as human shields. Now, gratefully, it was announced today that Egypt is going to finally open their gates and take in newborns and those that are severely injured. But as far as taking in Palestinians and people from the Hamas government, Egypt is still saying, we do not want you, which really begs the question, why does Egypt and Jordan and Lebanon and Saudi Arabia, why do none of these people want to take in Palestine if Palestine is so great and so worthy of intervention? I don't know. I don't have an answer for you, but it does beg the question. Now, before you go, I want to remind you that you are amazing. Thank you so much for being in my community. Please give this video a like so that YouTube will share it with the masses and it lets them know that you appreciate the content. Also, check out that video from earlier today. I'll put it right here and also right here. Hey, thank you so much, and I will see you on the next video.